Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today, Rosh Hashana daf Lamed Daled. We are going to begin in Lamed Daled 1 Aleph, about 10 lines from the top. Regarding the din of having to blow the shofar in Rosh Hashanah, do we learn out from Gzer Shava from Yom Kippur regarding the Yovel? Here we say we learn out from a different Gzer Shava Midbar, the Sanya. So we learn that you're supposed to have two separate tekiyos, one for tekiyas as well as one for truas. Maybe it's really the same thing. It says that they're only supposed to do a tekiya and not a terua. So that pasuk shows that it has to be done separately. Menayin shibshutel v'neha. How do you know the tekiya is supposed to be four? Talmud lemer uskatem terua. Menayin shibshutel acheret. Talmud lemer terua yitka'u. So again, we see we're supposed to have the sandwich of the tekiyas before and after. You don't need to derive this from this pasuk, from again from Midbar. Rashi said shedhei pshutul v'nei pshutul achareha. Rather, harayu oimer uskatem trua shenis shein talmud lemer shenis talmud lemer shenis. So why does it say this word shenis? So zeh bana'av shechol makom shenever trua tehei tekiyah shni'ala. You also have to have a tekiya which is shni'ala, which is second to it. Okay. Ainli ela b'midbar. I only know when it comes to Silgan Rashi up top. There's only Rashi on this daf. She'ein tamul mashinis shkvar omer skatim trua v'nasim machna poinim ki hadar omer v'skatim trua says the second time v'nasim machna poinim shita the shenisi. Obviously, is referring to a second. Okay, so again, we understand regarding the midbar Rosh Hashanah 9 Talmud Omer Trua Gzer Shava. Rishosh Trua is never Rosh Hashanah. It says Trua three times. Shabbasayin Zikron Trua Yom Trua, and then Vavarta Shoifer Trua. So it says it three times. There's shnei tekiyos l'chol achas achas, and two tekiyos by each of them. So Matzinu we find Lamedim Shosh Teruos so Shesh tekiyos, that there's three Teruos and six tekiyos. Never Rosh Hashanah. Shtayim Divrei Torah. Two of them are from Divrei Torah, says Rashi. Trei Kroi Dorish, two psukim. Yachas Medivrei Seifrim. Shabbasayin Zikron Trua Vavarta Shoifer Trua Medivrei Torah. So those two psukim are from the Torah. Yom Trua Yelochem Talmudo Huba. And this other pasuk, Talmudu Huba, since this pasuk is not extra to learn out a drasha, and therefore it comes as Talmudu Huba. We're going to see what other drasha is derived from that pasuk. Shmuel Bar Nachmani Omer Ram Yonasan Achas Medivrei Torah Shtay Medivrei Torah. There's actually only one from the Torah. The Varta Shoifer Trua is Medivrei Torah. Shabbos and Zikron Trua Yom Zikron Yelochem Talmudu Huba. We need those psukim to teach us separate drashas, so it can't come to teach us this other. So my what does that mean? So meboy, we need it b'yoyim b'layla, that the shofar only takes place during the day and not at night. Didach b'yoyim b'layla. So the one who says that is only that pasuk is not for a drasha, how does he know that shofar is during the day? Naflim b'yom kippurim. So b'yom kippurim yom nigmer yelef nigmer nami minei l'pshuto v'nel achareha. Or in everything from Yom Kippur, that the pshuta, there's a tekiya before and afterwards. So bavarta teviru lo mashmahu. It's not mashma from that pasuk. Elamai darshibahu. Yavarta bavarta. Kidra masna dimra masna bavarta derech havarasai. Tells you, as Rashi says, imute havkoi takabai, as we saw in Daf Chav Zayin, that if you turn it the other way around and blow from it, notice you fashion it and you carve it out so that the long part is the shorter part, and the wider part is the more narrow part. That doesn't work. Haviru dikam rachmana. Why does the Torah say that? Na'abre. Maybe it means na'abre biyad. You're supposed to just carry it around. Who says that you're actually supposed to blow it? V'idach. The Rav Masna kiddushani l'dibura. Since it changes the lashon of the pasuk, taviru biyad lo matzas amrit. Can't learn that. The Gomer of our Moshe Ksiv Hach Mavar Teshevatura Ksiv Hasam Yitzad Moshe Maviru Kol B'Machna Malhon B'Koil Avkan B'Koil. Not walking around with it, we're actually making a noise. Lahai Tana the Maisalom Midbar, the one who learns it out from a Midbar, that there's tekiyos before and afterward. Malhon the Chatzaisus Avkan Chatzaisus. Maybe it's talking about trumpets. Some Lomer Tikku B'Chaydish Shayper B'Chesam Chagenu. So Ki Zehu Chag Sheb'Chaydish. Shebechodesh Mischas Haboy Haviyim is Rosh Hashana, as we saw before on Daf Ches, that the only holiday in which it's Mechasa, which we find that it's during Rosh Chodesh when it's the new moon, is on Rosh Hashanah. The Kamar Achman Shofar, and it mentions the Shofar. So Ishkin asking Rabbi Avoy B'Kisri Tekiya, he established there should be a Tekiya, Sholosh Shvarim, Teruah, Tekiya. Now, what is that? Why would he do that? Why would he have Shvarim and Teruah in the middle? Manashach. Ilule Yoel Lavet Tekiya, Teruah, Tekiya. If it's referring to Ilule, as we mentioned in yesterday's daf, then it should just do a Tekiya, Teruah, Tekiya. In Gechun Genuche Ganach, if it's a louder cry, like the mother of Sisera, Lav Tekiya, Sholosh Shvarim, Tekiya. So why would he do both in between? So Masafkali, he had a suffix, Igenuchi Ganach Ilu Yoel. So there's a suffix when we hear the shofar, so we're not really sure what the right sounds are, what the middle ones are. So Matzah Rav Avir, B'Dilma Yuli Havi, become Mafsik Sholosh Shvarim, Ben Teruah Tekiya. Isn't that going to be an interruption? Because if it's really not, then it causes a hefsek. The harder of it Tekiya, Teruah, Tekiya. That's why we also do it Tekiya, Teruah, Tekiya, so that won't be an issue. So Matzah Ravina, V'Dilma Genuchi Havi, become Mafsik Teruah, Ben Shvarim Tekiya. Again, the harder of it Tekiya, Shvarim, Tekiya. So El Rabbi Avo, my asking, what is he doing? Right? So it doesn't make any sense. He's doing it either way. So he's doing it Tekiya, Shvarim, Tekiya. He's doing it Tekiya, Teruah, Tekiya. So what exactly is he doing Tekiya? This the kind of Tekiya, Shvarim, Tekiya, Shvarim, Teruah, Tekiya. So Dilma, Ganach, Yoel. Maybe both are needed. And therefore that's the reason why it's not a suffix, it's one or the other, it could be both. So that's why he does both. So Yehaki Levin Nami Ibcha, Tekiya, Teruah, Sholosh Shvarim, Tekiya, Dilma, Yoel, V'Ganach. How do we know? And we never do this. We don't do Tekiya, Teruah, Shvarim, Tekiya. Why? Why don't we do it that way as well? The Gemara says that's not an option. There was no doubt. Because Stam the Milsa Ki Mitra Banish Milsa the Reish Ganach V'Hada Yoel. When a person cries out, this is question 7, Madua lo Masafkalam B'Teruah Deraisa El Shvarim Teruah V'Lo B'Teruah Shvarim, because that's not the way a person cries. A person will cry a longer cry and then and then afterwards Yolo, these shorter cries. A person will cry in that fashion, and therefore we don't do it the other way around, because that's not the normal way the person would do so. So even though it's long, it's like 2, it only counts as 1. So Rav Yochanan, on this, Rav Yochanan said, Shema, as we continue on Lamed Daled Beis, Teisha Tekiyos V'Teisha Shais. If you heard 9 sounds during 9 hours, a long span, Yatza, even though it's really spread out. Again, the exact same thing, Yatza, even though it's really spread out. And then the Gemara says, Mites b'nei Adam. Let's say you heard it from 9 different people, Ke'echad at the same time, well, Yatza. Tekiya mizeh, Teruah mizeh, Yatza. If you have different people doing it separate times, you're Yatza. If you feel b'sirugin, even with long gaps of time. If I feel kol yom kulo. I mean, Rav Yochanan Hachi, that you have the whole day. Remember, Rav Yochanan Misham and Yehustuk, B'Hala Megillah. When it comes to saying Hala Megillah, for example, Mishakei Ligmor is Kula Chayzel Rosh. If you delay it for a significant amount of time, you have to repeat the entire Hala, you have to repeat the entire Megillah. Lo Kasha, Hadidei, Rabbi. One is him and one is his Rabbi. Avadidei Lo, is it true that he himself says it's not acceptable? It has to be done within a certain span. If it takes too much time, then it won't work. It's not the case. Who's behind Rabbi Yochanan? They were saying the Shema. When they got to this dirty alleyway, Ishtik, he stopped. Basar, afterwards, the Chalif, after he passed by, Malay Mahu Ligmor, he said, what's the din? Am I able to finish the Shema? Because I kind of stopped for a few seconds when I walked through. Malay says, if you have enough time to be able to finish it up during that gap, then you have to repeat the entire Shema. So, Hakikarmer. I don't hold this at all. According to you, you have to maybe repeat the entire Shema. I don't hold it's necessary. And on this Rashi, we have to see this Rashi, which is also question 8. There's actually two answers, two areas where he disagrees. It says, "B'mapli Reb Yochanan and Reb Avo." Two answers. Look at this. Rashi explains it. Ma shepasakta de isle Reb Yochanan v'mesechtes brachos on daf chav daled. If you get to this dirty alleyway, you can put your hand over your mouth, and you can read. So those are two things that he argues with. He holds that when you go through this dirty alleyway, you don't have to stop. You can keep saying it, just cover your mouth with your hand. The second thing is he holds that even if that delay is a longer period of time, it's not a problem. The different sounds are not ma'akev one another. Brachos and ma'akmazuzu. However, the kiyos of brachos Rosh Hashana v'shalem v'kippur ma'akmos. So what do you mean to kiyos that are not ma'akev if the ones of Rosh Hashana and Kippur are? So Rashi says brachos to alma can go in tiny ice. They would also blow, as we're going to see soon in Masechtas Tainus. There's times when they would also blow for a fast day. So that is not ma'akev one another. Fine. For example, in berach v'lotaka, if a person said a bracha but didn't do the tekiyas, so you're yatsa the brachos. Okay. So my time. What is the reason for this? Back in the Gemara. So Amarabo, Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Imru Amru Lafanai Rosh Hashana, Malchios Zichronos v'Shayfaros. It's ma'akev. You have to do these things. You have to say these brachos. They're all linked. Malchios Kedei Shetam Lichuni Aleichem, so that I should reign as king over them. Zichronos Kedei Shevel Lafanai. That I should remember them for the good, and it's through the shofar. Even if you already said the davening, you can blow the shofar afterwards. The reason why you can take the shofar now is because you never had it before. If you did have it before, Shama. You're really supposed to say it, hear it during the Seder HaBrachos while you're davening. Shama Papa Bar Shmuel Kalmatsui got up to daven. Amalei Shami said to a servant, Ki Nihir Nalach, when I sign to you Takali, you should blow. Which again shows that there's a link between the Amida and the Tekiyas. It shouldn't be done just afterwards, which of course should be Yaitza, but it's better to do it during the davening. Amalei Rabba Lo Amru, the only time we said this din, El B'chaver Ir, says Rashi, Chaburas Tzibor, when you're grouped together. Abu Yachid, an individual Mavarech Eskulo, you can do the whole davening. And afterwards you can blow the shofar, that's okay. The importance of doing it all together is when you are in B'chaver Ir. Tanya Mahaki Kashu Shaimin Al Seder Vel Seder Brachos, that you should do it again all together. The Medavar Mur B'chaver Ir. Avashlo B'chaver Ir, Shaimin Al Seder, Vashlo Al Seder, Brachos, it's okay. V'yachid Shlo Taka Chavero, V'yachid Shlo Taka Chavero Taikelo. If let's say one person didn't blow, his friend could do it for him. Yachid Shlo Berach. If one individual did not say the bracha in Chavero Mavarch Allah, you're supposed to do it yourself. The mitzvah b'taikin yoismin of Mavarchin. The mitzvah of the taikin is greater than the one who says the davening, the benching, the mavarchin, the blessing. So Ketzad, Shtei Yarais, for example, what is that talking about? If there's two cities, V'achas Taikin, one place they have a shofar, V'achas Mavarchin, the other place you can daven with a minion. Better that you should go to the place which has the shofar, V'ein Hoyachel Makam Shem Mavarchin. So Pshita, Havisul, Hadaraisa Hadarabana. Hearing the shofar is the Daraisa. Davening with a minion is the Darabana. So then why would you think that you should not go to the place with the shofar and fulfill the mitzvah deraisa? Well, tzricha de avagav dahavadi v'hasafek. You would say, ain't something mitzvah divada, that maybe you should go to the place which has the shofar only in a case where you know you're going to get to it. However, let's say, says Rashi, v'mielech etzel hataykim shemikfar amdu v'holchul labeisam. Maybe they're already gone. They went to their home and you want them to hear the shofar. Better even to go to hear the shofar with suffix than the possibility of, than the definite of going to a place where there is a minion. Question TA 18. Shama Tesha Tekiyos B'Sirugin Ha'im Yatsa. So if you heard it during the time, Imlo Shah, it wasn't such a long delay, K'dei Ligmar Skua, then Yatza. Im Shah was a long delay, Havipulta, it's a machokas, as we saw above on this Amud Adkan.